Hey guys, sorry, the last video got cut short because I had to run out and do my bus duty. So this video ties in with systems of equations, but this video is going to focus on the two methods of solving them. Now, remember, you can use Desmos for some of your EOC, but these particular questions are usually on the portion of the test where you don't have Desmos and you don't have a calculator. So that's why it's important that, yes, you can use Desmos to check, but you need to know how to work these out by hand. So make sure that you ask questions in class and make sure you practice, and remember that mistakes are how you improve. All right, so substitution and elimination. Substitution is really a good way to do the problem if you already have y equals, or sometimes they give you what x equals. So if we see y equals or x equals, we're going to try to use substitution. Substitution means you're plugging something in. So substitution, we're going to be plugging in. Elimination, we're going to be getting rid of stuff, eliminating it. And elimination is really good if both of the equations are in standard form. All right, so as we're doing these examples, I want you to try to pick which one do you think we're going to use. So for number one, which one do you think we're going to use? Hopefully you said substitution because I see y equals 5. So all I have to do is in the other equation, I'm going to plug in 5 wherever I see y. So 2x minus 3 times 5 equals -7. So that's why we call it substitution. I'm plugging in y for 5. All right, so now I'm just going to work it out. That means multiply, so I'm going to multiply. All right, and this is now just a two-step equation. So I'm trying to isolate x, right? I'm trying to have a variable side and a constant side. So I'm going to add 15 to both sides. So I get 2x is equal to 8. When I divide on both sides, I'm going to get x is equal to 4. Now remember, these are lines. These are lines that we can graph, so their solution is an ordered pair. So the correct way to write your answer is the ordered pair. And remember that when we write a point, it's the x and then the y. All right, look at number 2. Which way do you think we're going to solve it? Hopefully you said elimination because they are both in standard form. So with elimination, basically our goal is to make the x's cancel or the y's cancel. And we're going to do that by multiplying until I get the same number in front of the x or the same number in front of the y. So if I'm looking at the y column, 2 and 3, that's going to take kind of a lot of multiplication to get them the same. But if I look at the x's, this is 2 and this is 1. Well, this is going to be easy to make this the same. I just have to multiply the bottom equation by 2, right? If I multiply that by 2, now both of my equations have a 2 in front of the x. The only thing that you have to remember is you can't just multiply one of the terms by 2. You have to multiply all of the terms by 2. It's not always going to be 2, but in this case it is. So my new equation for the bottom one, 2 times x, 2 times 2y is 4y, and 2 times 7 is 14. So now that I've multiplied, I am not going to use that equation. I'm going to use the top equation and the bottom equation. So what I usually do is I go ahead and rewrite the bottom one just so that there's not a gap in between. So now I have my two equations. I have the one that I multiplied everything by 2, and then I just moved the one that was there originally at the top, so now they're stacked. So now that they are stacked on top of each other, you see how I got 2x and 2x? So I want to cancel those out, so I'm going to have to do 2x minus 2x to cancel them out, which means I'm going to subtract the columns. So 2x take away 2x, That is gone. That's why we call this elimination. 4 minus negative 3. Be careful of your signs. This is a positive 4 minus negative 3. That's the same as 4 plus 3. So that column is going to combine to 7y. And then I'm going to combine my constants as well. So 14 minus negative 7. 14 minus negative 7 is the same as 14 plus 7. So 14 plus 7 is 21. So I'm going to divide, and I'm going to get y is equal to 3. So now the thing with elimination, and the thing with a lot of these is we're not done. That's just the y, and I'm not done until I have an x and a y. So what I'm going to do from here is I'm just going to take this y and I'm going to plug it in, and I'm going to do substitution from here. And so it literally does not matter at all which one of the equations you pick to plug the 3 in for y. I'm going to use the top equation just because I crossed out the one in the middle already, but it doesn't matter. And so here's where I'm going to do my substitution. 2x minus 3 times 3 is equal to negative 7. I know it's a little bit squished in there, but hopefully you can see. So I'm taking this top equation and I'm replacing the y with 3, and now I'm going to solve this for x. So multiply. I'm going to add 9 to both sides because I have to move stuff away from my x. So negative 7 plus 9 is 2. When I divide, I get x is equal to 1. So remember, your answer is an ordered pair with the x number and then the y number. All right, number 3. Can you guess which one we're going to use? Good. Hopefully you said substitution because I see y equals, y equals. So when you have y equals for both of them, it's easy to go ahead and do substitution. I do want to point out, remember that not every single system has a solution. Remember that there could be no solution. There could also be infinite solutions. So this would be a good idea to check before you do a whole bunch of work. Would these two lines be parallel? The answer is no, because their slopes are different. If your answer was yes, if you could tell already that these are parallel, there's not going to be an intersection. So don't waste your time solving it. If you know they're going to be parallel, there would be no solution. So basically what I'm going to do when they both say y equals is all I am going to solve for is that part. The part with the x's, the mx plus b part. Just set the mx plus b's equal to each other. So I have 1/2 x plus 8 equals the 2x plus 14. So basically I'm not using y. I mean, technically what I'm doing is I'm basically replacing that y with 1/2 x plus 8, but I'm just setting the mx plus b's equal to each other. All right, I will remind you, whenever you have a fraction, how do you get rid of a fraction? You multiply by the denominator. So I'm going to multiply all of the terms by 2 because that's the denominator of the fraction that's there. So 2 times 1/2 is 1. 8 times 2 is 16. 2x times 2 is 4x. And 14 times 2 is 28. Hopefully you remember how to solve an equation with variables on both sides. I need a variable side and a constant side. I'm going to cancel out the x because it's smaller. Drop down my 16. Be mindful of your signs. My 16 is positive. 4 take away 3, or sorry, 4 take away 1 is 3. Drop down my 28. And now this is my variable side, so I am going to have to minus 28 because that's a constant and I don't want it next to a variable. And I don't have a calculator, so I am I'm going to do 28 minus 16. And because this subtraction is 16 minus 28, I know that's supposed to be negative 12. All right, and when I divide both sides by 3, I'm going to get that x is equal to negative 4. All right, and keep in mind, we are not done until we have x and y. So that means I have to come back up to one of these two equations. It doesn't matter which one, but I'm going to plug in negative 4 for x. I'm going to do 2x plus 14 because if I have an option between a fraction and not a fraction, I'm going to use the one without a fraction. So 2 times negative 4 plus 14, that would be negative 8 plus 14, which is 6. So the answer for this one is negative 4, 6. Make sure you do the x number first in the ordered pair. All right, we might not actually have time to finish the last one, but we can set it up. So do you think we're going to use substitution or elimination? If you said substitution, that would be a good strategy because we already have y equals. So what I'm going to do for this is I am going to box off this x plus 6 because this is the part that I'm going to be plugging in. And I am going to plug in the x plus 6 wherever I see y because the first equation is telling me that y and x plus 6 are the same thing. So that means I'm allowed to replace the y with x plus 6. All right, and the reason I put this in parentheses, this time around it doesn't matter because it's just y, but if this was 2y, then this would be 2 parentheses x plus 6, which would mean you would be distributing. All right, so I want you to try to finish working this problem out. It is 100% okay if you get it wrong. We're going to be spending a lot of time solving these. So again, this is a video that you might have to come back and watch a few times so that you can really get enough information and figure out what questions you need to ask as you're working these out yourself.